Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another great and fantastic episode of the Quick Pop Podcast. I am Nannercat, and with me, I have, once again...
I'm Ace.
And I am Slayer.
What we're going to be talking about today, some big news that happened with, I guess we could go ahead and talk about it, the main roster debut of Samoa Joe, and what exactly happened with Seth Rollins.
So Samoa Joe did Samoa Joe things like he always does, unfortunately.
Yeah, Samoa Joe almost killed a kid once.
It's not like it's not a thing in his actual character, but it's kind of thing in his actual character that like you don't want to actually be in a storyline with Samoa because you're probably going to have to take time off.
Yeah, because Joe might accidentally kill you or try. Well, he's not going to intentionally try to kill you, but he'll come close.
He'll come very close, yeah. But one thing that they are really doing is they really push the feud between Seth Rollins and Triple H.
I know, and we almost got it. We almost got like either some payoff or some like hype for the future, and they decided to. And there's nothing wrong with it, but they decided to introduce this third element, and I think now they're kind of trying to like panic a little bit.
I do not believe that. I think, and I also read something really neat that even though Seth Rollins, got that injury to the knee that he had previously like ripped and torn apart and all that, they are still WWE creative and WWE in general are still going ahead with Trips versus Rollins at WrestleMania. They believe that Rollins will be better by April?
Well,
April's
I mean,
WrestleMania?
like
That's a really big gamble.
Yeah,
that's a big gamble on two parts because one, you're gambling that that's actually going to happen.
Yeah.
And then two, you're gambling that the story will still be there. Like, I know we will all still see it, but there won't have been any, like, build-up. It'll just be, like, okay, I'll put it this way. It'll kind of be like Shaq versus The Big Show. We all knew it was coming, but there was nothing, like, leading up to it.
Well, I kind of disagree with that because we've seen the build-up. It just unfortunately got sidetracked.
Yeah, but that's not the thing, though. Like, you want to, like, constantly keep driving that story. It would be like, okay, so we know that now that Goldberg is going to be taking on Lesnar at Mania, right?
Yeah.
It would be like if that was it. Like, they didn't mention Goldberg and Lesnar for Mania until, like, maybe the week before Mania. That's what I'm getting at.
The way that I see it, they already implanted the thought that Trips and Rollins is going to happen. And I really do like that Trips actually brought out Samoa Joe because during that promo, very chilling promo, by the way, absolutely amazing. Probably one of Triple H's best promos since probably CM Punk. Trips hasn't had that thrilling promo where he said he was creating the next Seth Friggin Rollins. And he brings out a guy that he believes could be the next Seth Friggin Rollins in Samoa Joe. And he is going to devastate each and every single person that he comes against. And I think it's a good thing that recently on Raw, even though there was interference by Braun Strowman, that Samoa Joe got the win over Roman Reigns. Doesn't make Roman Reigns look that strong, especially when they want to build up Samoa Joe for the future. But it's like future versus future. And sure, even though Seth Rollins is going to be injured for, I don't know, maybe 2-3 months, trying to get himself ready for WrestleMania, using Samoa Joe always keeps that thought that maybe this is the day that Rollins will run in, get a little bit of revenge, just a little drive-by, look at the camera, shake a little, and it's like, Trips, I'm coming for you. Brr, I'm Seth Rollins. I think it's really neat. The momentum's already there. I don't think any of that has been lost. Sure, it got a little deflated, but it's not too bad.
Well, I feel like if they're not careful, because right now they've got him fighting Roman. I feel like they've stretched Roman in too many directions right now.
Roman's kind of like that wild card But they solidified at Fastlane it's going to be Roman versus Braun Strowman.
Right, because Braun Strowman needs to have an actual wrestling match, so that way we don't think he can only do squash matches.
And how about Braun on the mic, though? That was not that bad.
Braun on the mic is fine. Also, though, Braun on the mic needs work.
Not Roman work, though. Roman. Oh
no, Roman really needs work, but I mean, he's at that same, like, okay, yeah.
Suffer and succotash.
Yeah.
Tater tot.
Here's the thing. When you were talking about Braun Strowman, the thing that bothers me with Braun is I don't know who in creative thinks that we're, like, confused about Braun. Like, we need to once again make sure they understand that he's a monster heel. Like, I'm well aware that he's a monster heel. You don't need to do a 4v1 squash match.
Well, his intro music lets you know that he's a monster.
Right.
Watch somebody. He's like
I seriously think if you would look at his, like, match history, he's maybe had 2 normal matches.
Sammy and
KO.
Yeah.
And everything else has been just, I'm Braun and I step over people. And I mean since Braun became, like, Braun Solo.
Yeah. Well, I think they did it right, giving him all those squash matches, and then, you know, it does look kind of cool that he's able to take on 4 people at once, but now he's visibly, like, frustrated. He's audibly frustrated, and he was shouting out Foley's like, you can't keep giving me this. You need to give me more. You need to give me better. What are you going to do about it? So they're going to bring in the big dog. And
you need to give me more. Were you on a 6v1? Like, what else do you want, bro? Like,
now, this was
we
something.
We just fed you 4 people.
Yeah. This was something. Well, technically 3 people because one of them ran off.
Well,
if we're speaking technicalities here.
Yeah, but I think the Braun angle is going to be really, really cool. And also, have you been listening carefully to how people are describing Roman, or some of the little things that the ring is his yard? He even mouthed off that quote to The Undertaker at the Royal Rumble. So I think we might be finally getting that Roman Reigns heel turn, which is going to be fun.
Well, here's the thing, though. I feel like it's going to be at the expense of something no one wants to see. Mm-hmm. Because, of course, you know, when you hear...
we already saw Roman at 30. I mean, what else is there?
I have this really feeling in my gut that they may try to sneak in a Roman versus Undertaker match.
I think if that happens and Roman wins, he will forever get heat, and I'm fine with that. I made my peace with it. I think Roman Taker is going to happen. They just have to execute it correctly.
But what else?
What will happen is it'll be Roman Samoa, and that's when Seth interrupts.
During WrestleMania?
No, because see, here's the thing. I would be down with that it's Roman Taker, except that, like, they completely brushed that away. Like, that hasn't even been the only time they bring it up is if they're specifically talking about the Royal Rumble. They're not, like, furthering that heat whatsoever. Mm-hmm. So I mean, it's possible, but they would have to push something, like, right now.
Yeah. Well, at this point, it's still a little bit until April. I think they can pull something off, because around this time, either that or at least half a month later, the whole arc between Shane McMahon and Taker happened. So they could pull off something.
Oh no, they could. See, I guess here's the problem. Now that they have like the brand split, it makes it a little harder.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I don't think I see too much of that. But that's just me.
What I mean the brand splits made it harder is before Fastlane truly was the pay-per-view that leads up to
WrestleMania.
Yeah. But now that, you know, Fastlane's not necessarily the one that leads up to it, it's the, you know, SmackDown one that leads up to it.
Well, both of them technically lead up to it, though. because we're still getting Fastlane.
Yeah, well, I just mean like used to be, you know,
Fastlane is the one that did it.
Yeah, Fastlane. Like if there was any story that was going to go into WrestleMania, it would happen at Fastlane.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there's a little. They could still work something because one of the biggest things that I know people are talking about is that Cena's going to be dropping the title to Bray Wyatt at Elimination Chamber. That could still be in play. And then also on top of that, people are saying that KO is going to actually drop the championship at Fastlane to Goldberg. The KO to Goldberg thing doesn't really make sense because either way, Goldberg is going to be taking on Lesnar. Why throw a championship in it?
Well,
spectacle.
Here's the thing. I feel like it could go both ways because, like, I guess the way I look at it is they could give Goldberg the championship, and that's how they transition to giving it to Lesnar, without having like Lesnar just show up and body KO.
But do I really need another part-timer with a championship again?
Well, talking about the WrestleMania and like who's going to get what, I don't see a problem with giving it to Lesnar because Lesnar right now has nothing going for him. Mm-hmm. And so here's the way I look at it, though. The WrestleMania for Lesnar is going to be a very tricky situation because if they do what I think they're going to do and give the belt to Goldberg, that will help ferment another feud because now Jericho's talked about we should do champion versus champion at WrestleMania and just blow the house down. That would further that whole like potential friend breakage thing if now Jericho's the one with the title and KO's not, and I could see Jericho now starting to treat KO like the lesser person because I've got a title, you don't.
Yeah.
So then him not having a title could allow that match to be a bigger deal. The flip side of that, though, is like you said, Goldberg versus Lesnar. On the one hand, Lesnar could really use a win because right now Lesnar only loses.
Yeah.
But you don't want to derail your Goldberg movement. Like if you've got Goldberg, you book Goldberg to win. Like that's just a thing that happens.
Yeah.
Goldberg, like unfortunately / fortunately, Goldberg found the sweetest gig possible when he started in WCW by just being the guy that never loses. And if he does, it's a big deal. I don't think they would have him lose because they're riding this whole look at how much of a dominant force Goldberg is.
Yeah. So
it's a really, really tricky situation because let's say they don't drop the belt. Like, let's say KO doesn't drop the belt.
Or that what could happen is Jericho intervenes. And so Goldberg
he absolutely
gets the win,
could.
But
he doesn't.
Still has the belt.
Yeah.
And see, here's the thing, though. Like, I would hate that because as much as you all know my feelings on heels, and I know that heels do heel things, and that's just what happens, I think they've got to stop the intervention win because while it's keeping KO champion, there's no suspense when you're like, oh, a Kevin Owens match? All right, we can skip that one because you know how it's going to end.
I never skip a Kevin Owens match, though.
Here's the thing.
Even though I know
it can be a good match. I agree. But you're supposed to be like shock and awe at the result. Like, I'm all for the journey there. That's great. But there's that back of your mind thing that's like, oh, this is a great match. This is a great match. When Chris Jericho shows you up, you're like, and we're at the end.
Well, it might not be Chris Jericho showing up. Brock Lesnar.
Who would intervene then?
Oh,
you
yeah.
Think
Brock
Lesnar. Oh, he would. I think that's very plausible.
He has every reason. He has every single reason.
He has every reason, but like, I don't know. I think he would want him to win the title so that he basically had a guaranteed title shot.
Has Lesnar really been a thinker, though?
Well, not Lesnar, but his advocate.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I
Like,
could
if you think
believe
about
that
it,
more. I could
why
believe
would
Paul
he-
Heyman would be in his ear.
Right, no,
rather
absolutely.
Than
Lesnar
Brock
thinking
Lesnar
that.
being like, oh,
But I mean,
this is my chance to get the title.
if you're going to have a guaranteed match already made, why not make it now
Put
a
the
title
chips
match?
online,
Because the guy, so like I said, it's really delicate though, because then if you, like I said, if you don't have Kevin Owens win, or if you do have Kevin Owens win and he retains, then what do? Do you drop the Jericho belt to somebody and make Kevin Owens superior?
I guess kind of like what I foresee WrestleMania 33 on being, Jericho does not lose his belt.
Right, but then would Kevin Owens
he'll go for the belt because now
they've already
on
talked
Raw,
about
they're teasing the Festival of Friendship.
Oh, that's gonna
blow up.
Yeah,
that's gonna be fun. The Festival of Friendship.
I guarantee you, either someone's going to intervene just cause, or their relationship is going to take another strain.
It's soured.
But what I mean is, since Jericho's already talked about to KO, we should have a champion versus champion match at WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. It wouldn't just be an exhibition match. It would absolutely have to be title versus title.
Yeah.
But who do you have go over who?
But that's just it. Who would you have go over who, and why would you?
That makes it great, though. That makes it so great.
Yes, but here's the thing. Now you're down to 2 titles, or technically 3 if you count the cruiserweight. But cruiserweights fight with the cruiserweights, not anybody else. Then you have literally one guy as champ and one team as champ. It would be as if for some reason if we all expected Dean Ambrose to win the Elimination Chamber this Sunday. It's not going to happen. Not while you're champ.
Not while Randy Orton is the guy that immediately goes to WrestleMania.
Well,
not even that. Just I don't see WWE trying the 2 main titles approach.
They did it before.
They did before.
Do it again.
They did before. If they did it, they would have to be very, very careful, or else we would literally, and I hate to say this and bring back CrossFit Jesus, Seth Rollins, may he heal fast, but it would literally go right back to that way where, now he's got both titles. He's weaseling out of 2 titles now. Every match that's up for any title, he manages to weasel out of it in some way.
The only time I could probably see that being plausible is when there's that pay-per-view, I guess now, Clash of Champions?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only time I see it being plausible, because that's how they worked Rollins, because he had both the United States and the World Heavyweight. And so
he had to wrestle twice.
Both Sting and John... Wait. Yeah, it was John Cena.
Yeah. Didn't he lose it, though, relatively shortly afterwards?
He lost it to John Cena.
United. Yeah, he retained the World Heavyweight, but he lost to John Cena, the United States.
Right. Like I said, it could happen, but I have a feeling, just because of the way they're trying to work this whole broken friendship thing, somebody, either Kevin or Chris, is going to lose the title, and that's going to be the catalyst for their WrestleMania match.
Now, I'm going to bring this up. What if they don't break up and we see another full year of Jericho?
I think they've planted too many seeds to reverse the decision now.
Yeah, they have to go through with it.
They have to, they've planted too many seeds of, why don't you come down for my match? I'll come down for your match, and this, that, and the other. I don't know.
That adds a great layer to that story.
Here's the
between
thing, though.
both Jericho and KO.
Story-wise, it'd be okay.
Being we're eventually going to fight. But then they're like, oh, look at them. They're so cute. I want to see them stick together. I think that would be really, really special.
Yeah, it would be, but like Ace said, I don't see it happening because they're like the writing is kind of on the wall with this one, and it's like the breakup is almost imminent.
Yeah, I could see that. I could definitely see that. But they did tease it just a little bit. If y'all remember, like maybe 6 months ago, before the draft and everything, they did kind of tease it with the New Day when they were going up against the Wyatt family with Xavier Woods being somewhat, I guess, kind of possessed, whatever. But you really didn't know what Xavier Woods is going to do. And so there was this big opinion like, oh, is Xavier Woods going to be a member of the Wyatt family? What's going to happen with the New Day? What's going on? And then they kept them together. I could see that, even though it's like a little smidgen of hope, I could see Jericho moving on to the next year together and have another festival of friendship. I think it'd be very, very pretty.
Yeah, I don't see. I really don't see that, man.
Also, on top of that, what other matches? Because we really didn't touch on, I guess, I'll even say this, the women's matches. What do you want to see? Because right now they're sort of kind of teasing for at least the Raw Women's Championship. It's going to be probably a 4-way between Charlotte, Sasha Banks, Bayley, and Nia Jax.
I think if Charlotte were to lose, and I think she'll lose, if she were to lose, it would be at WrestleMania. But to who, I'm not sure yet. I could see maybe Bayley, or this big surprise being Nia. And of course, a lot of people know how I feel about Sasha Banks, but I don't see her winning after she's had a reign 3 times. Of course, it'd be great to have her win at WrestleMania, but I more so see Bayley or Nia, which would be a really big surprise if they give it to Nia, because they've been giving her kind of the Braun Strowman treatment. Giving her squash matches to make her look stronger. They even fed her Sasha Banks during the pre-show for the Rumble to make her look stronger. And so it's a possibility that she could be the one to walk away.
Very huge possibility, because they are building Nia Jax to be this powerhouse, this brawny. She's not like most girls. But her with the belt, I wouldn't say so. I would back it up. I'll see Charlotte with the belt for a long time, at least on pay-per-view. She wouldn't lose it ever on a pay-per-view.
What about SmackDown?
I think what we're going to be seeing is another ladder match for the Intercontinental Champion, because it seems to be the thing. It seems to be the thing for WrestleMania now. It has to be like a 5-6 man Intercontinental ladder match. Because I think, the past 2 WrestleManias, we've seen that.
Yeah, that's true. I think Dean might walk away with it. But it also depends on who's in the match. But of course, I think we're definitely going to see the Miz in the match for sure. And we're probably going to see someone like Apollo Crews to see what he can do in a ladder match, or we're probably going to see Ziggler.
Yeah.
You can kind of put anyone in those positions.
Another huge what-if scenario. What if we're all wrong about John Cena dropping the title to Bray Wyatt, but instead he drops the belt to The Miz?
I would absolutely love that.
Randy Orton versus The Miz. Wouldn't that be kind of weird? I'd like it, though.
I would think it'd be Randy Orton versus The Miz versus John Cena, and John Cena wins to break Flair's record
at WrestleMania.
Yes.
I think he's not going to get the title. Like, if he were to lose the title, he's not going to get it back this year. If anything, he might save that big moment till next WrestleMania. Because, getting the 17th, title reign, I don't think it is worth a smaller pay-per-view Nothing like Elimination Chamber, nothing like No Mercy, Backlash. It has to be WrestleMania. I don't think it's even deserving of SummerSlam or
the Survivor Series
or the Royal Rumble. It has to be WrestleMania to break Ric Flair's record. And so what about the tag titles, like for both Raw and SmackDown? What do you see? What will we be seeing, I guess? Are there going to be any switches during Elimination Chamber and Fastlane going into WrestleMania? Or what should we expect at WrestleMania?
Well, right now, I think mainly on Raw, like the tag division of Raw is in a really interesting place because, as we know, right now the club they are the current champions. Because unfortunately, Cesaro and Sheamus, even though they were a really cool team, it seemed like they were more so transitional champions. And so I think if they do have a match at Fastlane or Elimination Chamber, this case I think it'll be Fastlane since we're talking about Raw. I think they will retain, but in that time, I kind of talked about this, off the podcast, but I think this will be the time to where Enzo and Cass may get moved up in that spot, because the problem in the past was you had the New Day. The New Day were, they were kind of walking the line between heel and face, but you also had Enzo and Cass. They're also just as popular as the New Day, and so you weren't going to put your two face teams against each other for the titles.
Yeah. And plus, not to mention, like with Enzo and Cass, they haven't held a tag team title. I don't think they held one in NXT, if I recall.
Honestly, I remember Enzo and Cass losing more on the main than they ever did in NXT.
Yeah. I think you're onto something there. I think we might see something with Enzo and Cass in the tag team title picture. And do you think we'll see Heath and Rhino again? Or is it like just a huge domination of American Alpha?
I kind of see the domination of American Alpha, or as I like to call them, the world's greatest tag team 2.0.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, they're fantastic. It's weird because I don't see them much ever since they won. Like, you don't see them that often. I hope that changes. I really hope that changes, because those two are magnificent in the ring. I absolutely love watching them.
Oh, they're really talented. I'm really kind of lax on my knowledge about the SmackDown tag team division. Besides Heath and Rhino and American Alpha, who else were you kind of putting in that picture?
I wouldn't mind putting the Usos back in. I would not mind having the Usos back in the tag team title picture, just because they are solid heels now. Like, they look it, they talk it, they mean it. They're fantastic heels. I'm going to give them that. Like, the Usos really grated at me, but then with the heel change, with the heel turn, they're pretty cool. And I wouldn't mind giving them another shot at the tag team titles.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, because at first the turn kind of came out of nowhere for me. Or, I would call it a Big Show turn.
Yeah.
it's turned because the sky is blue and the grass is green. But now that you said it, I kind of feel a little bit better about the Usos maybe being back in the picture.
Yeah. I mean, I don't see Breezango doing it. I don't see Vaudevillains doing it. Whatever the hell happened to the Ascension. I think the Usos should have another title shot as their current characters.
That would be cool. A few more quick predictions before we sign off here. AJ Styles, what's next?
Oh man, with AJ, I don't even know. You could give him a couple of great spots with Dean, to be perfectly honest. Because right now, he's not going to be in the title picture. Like, his last big shot is probably going to be an Elimination Chamber, where it's predicted that John Cena will drop to Bray Wyatt. So, what to do with AJ Styles? You could put Dean and AJ in a program, and I think they will stun the world. Especially if you put that Intercontinental Championship on the line. AJ is a wrestler that has to have gold. He's so over, even though he's a heel. He is completely over. He needs to have that prestige. Like, I could see if he is going to be in the company for the next 3-4 years, I could see him being a Grand Slam champion if for some reason he gets traded to Raw or something like that.
I absolutely see that, and I'm still of the opinion that AJ Styles is the best wrestler on the planet, hands down. And that's not to respect anyone else that did it before him or currently doing it now.
Yeah.
But I've been watching AJ Styles since TNA, and I've yet to see someone like him step foot in the ring, and do it better than him.
Like, for me right now, my favorite's still Kenny Omega, but when it comes to talent, it's hard to differentiate between AJ Styles and, I'll even say it, this newer John Cena that we're seeing, because it's not like the 5 moves of doom anymore. We're seeing more athleticism, we're seeing more creativity, we're seeing things that actually stun us when he's in the ring.
It's almost like he's kind of having a career renaissance.
Yeah, he's reinvented himself. And that's big. That's huge. Especially this late in the game for John Cena. For him to reinvent himself is fantastic. That goes to show you how much talent that wrestler has. That dude is amazing. I like John Cena. I really do. Like, at first it used to be ironic, but he grew on me, and he's one of the top 3. Definitely one of the top 3.
Oh, absolutely. When you think of WWE, the first person you usually think of is John Cena.
He is truly the face that runs the place.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
and it's going to be like, once he finally does step down and retire, I think they're going to be hard pressed to find someone who they can really put in that position. And of course, before that you had Austin, you had Hogan, you had The Rock, and you had your top guys around them. But
I don't know. I don't see AJ holding, like, I don't see them giving AJ that distinction just because he is so late in the game when it comes to WWE. I think they're gonna lean more toward one of the Shield members. They're already trying with Roman Reigns. There's still hope for him, but I think it might be Seth.
Yeah, I'm going across with Jesus. I think he'll be the guy that will lead the charge.
He is truly the future.
Yes, he really is.
Yeah. I guess it's now to say so long.
All hearts and minds are clear.
Yeah. The only thing is some of y'all probably already noticed, Ace had a very quick departure during the podcast. He had some technical difficulties that prevented him from coming back on. So for Ace, I say so long.
All right, and for myself, I say peace out until I think of another name. Yeah. All right.
And for me, for Nanacat, y'all take it easy. Have a wonderful day, pleasant tomorrow. Goodbye and good night. See you later. Bye.
Good night. Bye.